Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Hital, and today we're making jalebis. I don't know how many people have requested this recipe, but I know it's a lot. And it's a two-step process, so let's get started with step one.
Actually, a very simple process. It's not as complicated as it really seems or looks. And over here we have 1 cup of all-purpose flour or maida. To this we're going to add 1/8 teaspoon of cardamom powder, 1 teaspoon of rapid rise yeast, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and once the dry ingredients are in there, we're going to just mix it, and we're ready for the wet ingredients now. 1 teaspoon of oil, 1 tablespoon of yogurt, and 3/4 cup of water.
Now this is a slightly warm water because we want the yeast to activate, so you don't want it really piping hot, but just like a nice warm bath water.
And mix and get all the lumps out and finish it off with a spatula. Clean up the sides.
So a lot of jalebi recipes take a long time for the dough to ferment, right? Either 4 or 5 hours overnight, but this recipe is a fast recipe. So the way we're going to work around that hours and hours of fermentation time is we have a bowl with very warm water in here, and what we're going to do is take our bowl with the batter and place it inside so that it covers the sides of the bowl. Now we have just a cover. Any kind of cover will work. Cover it, and we're going to keep this in our oven. Now oven is off, but because it's a enclosed space, it's going to help maintain the warmth in this bowl, and it's going to rise and rise really fast. So we're going to give it about 30 minutes and we'll take a look then.
So we have another 15 minutes more left for the batter to ferment. Meanwhile, we'll get the syrup started. So this is a perfect time to start working on that. We've got 1 cup of water, and we're going to put it on medium heat. And to this, we're going to add 1 1/4 cup of sugar and a pinch of saffron.
Now we're going to cook the sugar syrup for 15 minutes. Now that is our stove on medium heat, so from the time we turn it on, about 15 minutes. But if you have a candy thermometer, it works really great, and you're trying to get the syrup to come to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 95 degrees Celsius.
Right.
So you can just leave that in there, and when it hits that number, just put it on a simmer.
Right.
So we're going to do this, and it's going to take 15 minutes.
And we'll also start heating up the oil for frying the jalebis. So that's over here. So these two things will work together, and meanwhile the batter will get ready, and as soon as the batter gets ready, you need to start frying the jalebis. Very important.
And just a quick note, we're using a heavy bottom pan just so the sugar syrup doesn't burn.
So the syrup is ready. It's been 15 minutes. We've now lowered the temperature, and it's on simmer. And one of the things we wanted to mention is you're not looking for any threads or anything. It's just going to be sticky. So for the jalebi, that's good. And to this now we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice.
The lemon juice is going to help keep that sugar syrup from crystallizing. So it'll be nice and sticky, but not crystals.
And the oil is already starting to get heated up, so let's have a look at the batter now.
So here's our batter. It's been just about 32 minutes, and look at it.
Wow.
It's risen.
Okay, let's take it out. And let's give it a mix. Ooh, look at that. So mix that well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the jalebis with this. So this is like a little contraption. It's a mustard bottle or a ketchup bottle you can buy at any grocery store. It has this little hole. You can keep it this size, but if you want thicker jalebis, you can just chop it up a little bit, so you have thicker jalebis.
Exactly.
But I think this is good for us, right?
And they're fairly cheap, like $1, $2. You can get something.
Right. And if you don't have one of these, you can also use a piping bag.
Or you can use a Ziploc bag. That's another option too. Just snip off a corner and use that like a piping bag.
Actually, in one of the halwais, what they do is they put it in a coconut shell.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That little hole, they kind of pry that open, and
oh wow!
I'm like, wow.
I'd like to see that.
Yes. So anyway, we're gonna put this into this. Remember not to fill it up too much because the yeast is still fermenting, and you don't want things oozing out. So
we learned that the hard way.
All right, so we're going to put this in here.
All right, so our sugar syrup is on a very low simmer, ready to go. Our oil is hot. Our batter is in our little mustard bottle, and we're ready to put it in.
And you please hurry up before it starts oozing
out. Here we go.
Here comes the fun part.
This is fun.
Yes, I want my turn too.
Now you just go in a circular motion. These don't have to be any kind of perfection. They're just a bunch of squiggles. But you want to try to get the ends to tie so they don't run away from you.
You know, there's a saying in India that says, crooked like a jalebi. So there you go.
There you go, yeah.
Done.
And when they start turning golden brown on the back, just flip them over. And these cook pretty fast. And when you notice the bubbles reducing, when it has a lot of moisture, there's a lot of bubbles, but when they start reducing like this, then pretty much they're cooked. We're going to pull it out from here, shake off the excess oil, and drop them into our sugar syrup. And once they're in there, they're just going to get a light coating of the sugar syrup. Flip them over once.
And after you flip them, just pull it out and put it in your plate. Now, there's something to be said about hot jalebis, right?
There's no other way to have them for their optimal quality right out of that. It's just amazing.
And I get my turn finally.
So traditionally, jalebis are fried in ghee, believe it or not.
Of course, I can believe that.
So if you really want that flavor of ghee, what you can do is in your oil, you can add a couple of tablespoons of ghee in there. So you're not really frying the whole thing in ghee, but it's going to give you a little bit of the flavor.
Move. All right. So what's the story behind jalebis? You wonder, right?
Yeah, there's got to be one.
So apparently this was introduced to India by the Mughals. When they moved to India, they brought this thing called jalabia, and over time it's changed names and it's made it more convenient and made it into jalebi. I hope I'm pronouncing it right though, but it is a Persian thing and or a Middle Eastern thing, and that's how it came to India. One of the things we wanted to mention was that while we were frying, halfway through the process, we turned off the syrup because you don't want it to become very thick. So we turned it off and just carried on with the process of dunking in the jalebis. And believe it or not, it's like a perfect measure. So you'll just probably have just a film of sugar syrup left at the end. Everything else is like wiped out clean.
That's great because you don't feel bad about wasting anything.
So look at our jalebis, they look wonderful. Imagine how, that little bottle made so much. And 1 cup of maida, wow, takes you a long way.
Yes, absolutely.
And hot jalebis, there's nothing in the world like hot jalebis.
We can't say that enough times. So if you're going to make this, make sure your family is somewhere close by around and be sure you let them try it right like this right now. It's just amazing. But the person I want to thank for this recipe is my Masi, Aruna Masi. So thank you so much, because people think it's really hard to do, and she assured me that it was a piece of cake, and as you can see, it is. So
it's a piece of jalebi.
Oh, a piece of jalebi, absolutely. So thanks, Aruna Masi, for this recipe.
Yep, thank you also from us and the viewers, and enjoy your jalebis and join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of sugar to your life.
You got to try that, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, so crispy, yummy.
Perfect.
Best.